And good morning, everyone, and welcome. Before we get started, I want to mention that this webinar offers closed captioning. To enable the closed captioning, click on the blue widget or the CC in a box located on the bottom left of your screen. And welcome to the City of Chicago Department of Business Affairs and Consumer Protection webinar. We have adapted our regular business education workshops at City Hall into these webinars until further notice. Note any website or email that I mention will be posted in our chat box. All BACP offices are open to limited members of the public. Masks are required in all BACP facilities. For those seeking business licensing assistance, we strongly encourage the processing of licenses and permits online. Business licenses can be applied for or renewed online at chicagobusinessdirect.org, or you can call 312-74-GO-BIZ. If you are part of the BACP Entrepreneur Certificate Program, you can get credit for joining this webinar by sending an email to bacpoutreach@cityofchicago.org. If you want to learn about the program, please visit chicago.gov/business education. Also, this webinar is being recorded and will be available at our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Chicago BACP. Once again, all that information will be posted in the chat box. And we encourage attendees to ask questions. Please use the chat box and send your questions to all panelists. There will be a Q&A session at the end of the presentation. And today's webinar is Chicago Business VAX Self-Certification. It will be presented by the Chicago Department of Business Affairs and Consumer Protection and the Chicago Department of Public Health. And like I just mentioned, we'll kick things off with the Public Health Department providing some information about COVID-19 vaccines. Our Department Business Affairs and Consumer Protection will give information about the mask mandate that is still in effect. And then we'll go over Protect Chicago 77 and, of course, the Business VAX Self-Certification. I now pass it over to Dr. Jana Cairns with the Chicago Department of Public Health. Welcome, Dr. Cairns.
Hi, and thanks for having me. So as Lisa just said, I'm going to start out just by giving a little bit of an update on COVID-19 vaccines in general. Can you go to the next slide, please? So this is just looking at vaccine data for the city itself. So in Chicago, we have administered over 3.3 million COVID-19 vaccines at this point, and 3.2 million have gone to Chicago residents directly. And our numbers at this point are looking pretty good, although we do have still some ways to go. But at this point, almost 2/3 of the city as a whole, including those that are too young to be vaccinated, have had at least one dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. And then when you look at specifically only those who are old enough to be vaccinated, so those that are 12 or 12 plus years old, we're almost at 3/4 of the city that has been vaccinated with at least one dose, and about 2/3 that have had a complete series. Could you go to the next slide, please? So this is just looking at a map of the neighborhoods of Chicago and where the residents, the percent of the residents that are 12 years old or higher have received at least one dose of COVID-19. So as you can see here, there are some differences regionally within Chicago, although those have improved over time, but the north and the northwest and southwest sides continue to have higher rates of COVID-19 vaccination compared to, for example, the south and the far south and the west sides. Next slide, please. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about why people should get vaccinated for COVID-19. The vaccines that are available right now are all safe and are all effective. And this vaccines can protect not only you, but also your friends and family and other people you spend time with and the community as a whole. So vaccines those who are vaccinated do have a much lower risk of getting severe illness, being hospitalized or even dying from COVID-19. And that holds true for also like limiting the spread that could occur to other people. So by getting vaccinated, you can also protect those that you spend time with. Even young people can develop severe disease, especially with the Delta variant that we see. Next slide, please. And so where can people get vaccinated? At this point, vaccines are really widely available. You can go to a pharmacy, whether that's, Walgreens or Walmart or Costco, whatever might be near you. You can go to your healthcare provider, so a doctor or a nurse that you might see regularly for care. The city also has a program where you can actually get vaccinated at home. So in the comfort of your home, we can have vaccinators come to you. In that program, you can also even be eligible for a gift card like the graphic on the right shows you. There are community events that are happening all over the city as well, and those can be found on the city's website, which is chicago.gov/COVIDvax. If you or have young kids in your family, you can also get vaccinated at events at certain Chicago public schools. And then to see where vaccines are actually available across different locations, again, you can visit our website. You can also visit ZocDoc, which has a list of locations, or you can call our phone number, which is 312-746-4835. Next slide, please. We've also gotten a lot of questions, as you may have seen in the news, about whether people need to get boosters of the COVID-19 vaccine. So as I'm sure most people know, right now there are 3 main vaccines that are in the market in the United States. So that's the Pfizer vaccine, Moderna, or the Johnson & Johnson or Janssen vaccine. For those who have been vaccinated, fully vaccinated, so had that 2-dose course of the Pfizer vaccine, there are some people that either should get a booster of the Pfizer vaccine or may get a booster of the Pfizer vaccine. So those that should get a booster of the Pfizer vaccine are people who are over 65 years old, or those that are over 18 and live in a facility like a long-term care facility or a nursing home, or those that are aged 50 to 64 but might have underlying conditions that put them at risk for severe complications from COVID-19. And then there are people that can get a booster of the Pfizer vaccine, and those are people who are aged 18 to 49 and who might have those same underlying conditions, or people who are 18 to 64 and who might have a risk of getting COVID-19 through their work. So those essential workers that were given the vaccine first when the vaccines rolled out last spring. Next slide. And I think I'll turn it back over to you, Elisa.
For the overview of not only that vaccines are safe, but they're widely available at this point. And before we get started about the self-certification process and the mask mandate, I just want to take a moment to kind of go over what the Department of Business Affairs and Consumer Protection offers businesses, employees, and consumers. We obviously do license all businesses and public vehicles in the city of Chicago, but we also protect consumers from fraud, unfair business practices, and we also protect employees. Our Office of Labor Standards enforces Chicago's labor laws, which do include minimum wage, paid sick leave, and during the pandemic, the anti-retaliation ordinance as well. For all licensing, we have our Small Business Center, which is located at City Hall in room 800. It is currently open to the public, and I want to say limited public. And all licensing, whether you're applying for a license or renewing your license, you can actually do it online now at chicagobusinessdirect.org. If you do want to come into City Hall, we highly recommend having an appointment with one of our business consultants. And you can make one by calling 312-74-GO-BIZ. And a business consultant will walk you through the entire licensing process. And some additional business support tools that we offer. We host small business expos this year. Our last expo is actually going to be next Thursday, October 21st. It is a remote expo, so you can join at the leisure of your desk, your laptop, even your cell phone. And you can join or register for the expo by visiting smallbizexpo.com. We'll have information about financing, licensing, several webinars, a keynote address, and even an opportunity to network with other business owners. And this webinar is actually part of our business education program. We hold webinars every Wednesday afternoon, actually, and Friday morning. Topics vary each month from marketing, business planning, financing, and they're conducted by city officials, experts, and partner business organizations. You could visit the website chicago.gov/business education to see our upcoming webinars. And just like this webinar, all of our webinars are recorded and uploaded to youtube.com/ChicagoBACP. And for those who can't make it to City Hall to get support, our neighborhood business development centers, which are chambers of commerce and business organizations, are located right in Chicago's communities. You could find yours by visiting chicago.gov/NBDC. And chambers offer a great opportunity to network within the community with other business owners within the community, get a feel for the marketplace there. They can help you with business planning to see what grants are available in the community as well. And launched earlier this year are our 8 Chicago business centers. And they are more specified as regional hubs that offer business licensing assistance. They'll help startup entrepreneurs, existing business owners with business licensing, public way permits, and additional city resource support. And they're meant to fund different neighborhoods throughout the city, specifically in underrepresented populations. And they also provide professional services, including sector-specific guidance. So if you're looking to open up a restaurant or a retail space, they could really help you within that industry. And you could find yours by visiting chicago.gov/CBC. And as always, to stay updated with everything that the department is doing, you could find us on social media. Our handle is Chicago BACP. And once again, on YouTube at youtube.com/ChicagoBACP. And with that, I turn it over to Miguel Campos with the Chicago Department of Business Affairs and Consumer Protection. Welcome, Miguel.
Thank you, Elisa. So in the next couple of slides, I'll quickly go over or recover our mask mandate. Most of our attendees are aware that the existing mandate that's existed since August 20th. So since Friday, August 20th, masks are required in all indoor public settings in Chicago for anyone aged 2 and over. So you can switch slides. So masks are required in all indoor public settings. Similar to previous mask mandates, masks can be removed at restaurants, bars, and other eating or drinking establishments by patrons when they are actively eating or drinking. Again, while stationary, we do ask that customers be fully masked when engaging with employees or servers. Masks can be removed for certain activities that require their removal, such as beards, beard shaves, or facials. Additionally, masks can be removed by employees in settings that are not open to the public. If the employees are static and maintaining at least 6 feet of distance from other individuals, for example, in a cubicle setting. So I'll quickly go over indoor versus outdoor settings, just since we are asking that masks are required in indoor public settings. So common outdoor settings include locations such as open air stadiums, Wrigley Field, Guaranteed Rate Field, Soldier Field, any park, it's a part of the Chicago Park District, or otherwise parking lots, a sidewalk cafe, outdoor patio, and expanded outdoor dining area, a rooftop that has a retractable roof, an outdoor tent that where at least 50% of its sites are open, igloos or other one-party enclosures, and then indoor spaces where 50% or more of a wall can be removed via the opening of windows, doors, or panels, provided that the dining tables are within 8 feet of such openings. I just want to touch again on the outdoor tent portion of it now that fall has started and the weather's turning a little colder. I would like to press that issue that in order to be considered an outdoor setting, 50% of those sites must be open. Indoor settings are commercial or residential buildings. With regards to residential buildings, masks must be worn in common or shared areas. For example, a hallway, an elevator, a mailroom, a laundry room, etc. A hotel, recreational settings such as bowling or arcades, museums, gym and fitness centers, whether they're public or private. So a gym or workout facility inside a condo building would be considered an indoor setting. Personal services establishments, a retail store, performance venues, which would include movie theaters, hospitals, and public transportation, which includes taxis and ride-hail services such as Lyft and Uber. Event venues are considered public spaces, even if events are private. So, for example, weddings, birthday celebrations, work meetings, outings, etc. Before we move on to the next slide, I would like to remind everyone that our latest and up-to-date overview of COVID regulations in the city are posted at chicago.gov/reopening. So we can switch slides. So business requirements. So if you are a business owner or operator, you're required to ensure that customers and employees are adhering to the new face cover mandate. Businesses are required to notify their customers prior to entry about the new face covering mandate. So, for example, you must post signage that says masks are required for all customers, regardless of vaccination status. We're asking that you do this at the entrance of the establishment and in at least one conspicuous location inside your establishment. You are free to make your own signage if you wish. The city is also providing signage for you. It's available for download by visiting chicago.gov/reopening, which is the website I mentioned a few minutes ago, clicking on resources, and then from the top drop-down menu, clicking on communication resources. At the time, the signs are available in both English and Spanish. And then this slide will go over suggested guidance. So we are asking businesses and venues to support social distancing to the extent possible, especially in indoor settings. Businesses and venues should apply best practices in managing and distancing at such places such as concessions, checkout counters, public restrooms, or lines or queues. So again, masking remains optional in outdoor settings. However, it is recommended that unvaccinated individuals in crowded outdoor settings continue to mask. And as a reminder, masks remain mandatory on public transportation, so CTA buses and trains, metro trains, in healthcare settings, schools, and in correctional and congregate settings. With that being said, I will now turn the presentation back over to Elisa.
Date is still in effect. And with that, we'll shift focus to the self-certification and kind of what led up to it. Miguel and Dr. Cairns laid the groundwork, so we'll take it from here with the Protect Chicago 77 campaign that recently launched. It's a citywide community engagement campaign looking to have 77% of all Chicagoans age 12 and up to have their COVID-19 vaccination series started by the end of the year. And all Chicagoans are encouraged to take the Protect Chicago 77 pledge, promising to do their part to protect Chicago and help the city recover from the pandemic. You can read about the pledge by going to chi.gov/77pledge. And as of October 2nd, we've had 73.4% of Chicagoans aged 12 and up have received at least one dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. So we are well on our way to reaching the 77. And as Dr. Cairns mentioned, vaccines are widely available at pharmacies, healthcare facilities, and through special events across the city. And they are offered at no cost to anyone. We also have the Protect Chicago at-home program. Anyone 12 and over is eligible to be vaccinated in their home and can receive up to $100. And once again, just mentioning that the vaccine is offered at no cost and insurance and government ID are not required. To learn more, visit chicago.gov/COVIDVax or call 312-746-4835. And part of the Protect Chicago 77 campaign is the Business Vax Self-Certification. Getting vaccinated, we know, is the best way to prevent the spread of COVID-19, and proof of vaccination is actually becoming a common requirement at many establishments, and many employers are requiring that employees be fully vaccinated. So the City of Chicago is encouraging Chicago business owners to participate in the Chicago Business Self-Certification. You complete the voluntary questionnaire, and then business owners are showing their commitment to protect Chicago by requiring proof of vaccination from patrons and employees. And you can learn more by visiting chicago.gov/reopening and chi.gov/77pledge. And to walk through the Business Vax Self-Certification, what that actually means and what a business owner needs to do. So once you complete it, you earn your Vaccination Badge of Approval, which is a printout that you could post in your business and on social media. Taking the questionnaire means that you do require proof of vaccination from patrons and employees. And once you do that, I mentioned you get the badge of approval, and you can post that in your storefront, next to your register, wherever that shows a prominent place for people to know that you are a vaccine-only establishment. I do want to note that even if you qualify and are approved for the self-certification, you are not exempt from any enforcement from the city, state, or federal laws by any government department or agency, and this does include the indoor mask mandate. So a preview of some of the questions, part of the self-certification. Simple questions like, what industry does your business or organization best fit? Your legal name, your address, community area, how many staff you employ. And then asking questions more specifically, does your business or organization require that all patrons be fully vaccinated in order to enter? Does your business or organization require employees be fully vaccinated? And once again, an individual is fully vaccinated 2 weeks after their second dose of a 2-dose series, or 2 weeks after a single dose series, like in the Johnson & Johnson. Another question is, does your business or organization have visual guidance for entry requirements? Meaning, do you have signage posted for the mask mandate and for vaccination status? One of the questions is, have you reviewed the latest reopening guidance for Chicago? And Miguel briefly mentioned this during his part of the presentation. If you visit chicago.gov/reopening, there's guidance about the mask mandate and general tips on healthy environments and operations that help lower the spread of COVID-19. So you will have to review that guidance during the self-certification. And once you qualify or complete the self-certification, you are able to have that badge posted in your establishment, and you're able to share it on social media. The last question in the self-certification is asking whether you are comfortable having your business posted into a public directory. You can click yes or no. And that concludes the presentation. I will open it up for questions. If you do have any questions, please post them in the chat box and send them to all panelists, and we will go through them. Do not see any questions coming in. I did put the email address on this last slide. If you do come up with any questions relating to the mask mandate for businesses, a little bit more information about the self-certification for businesses, please send us an email at bacpoutreach@cityofchicago.org. And on behalf of the City of Chicago, I do want to thank all business owners, all residents and visitors for following the guidance that's been going on for the close to 18 months. And as we continue to protect Chicago, please stay updated by visiting chicago.gov/coronavirus. Thank you so much.